I'm going to be talking to Calgarian Paul Hughes, a former member of the Canadian Armed Forces, who is in Ukraine helping to organize humanitarian assistance. So welcome to the interview, Paul.
Thank you for having me, Mark. Good to see you.
Well, look, you're in the Ukraine helping with refugees and supplies and so on. What's it like as a former soldier being in the midst of a war zone?
Well, there's a lot of activity in this city. We just saw some bombs hit here a couple of days ago. It's pretty chilled out in Lviv for a long time, but Lviv isn't really the center of any action. That's out in Kiev and Mariupol and Odessa, Kharkiv, places like this. This is more of a hub for refugees and supplies coming through here from Poland and Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, the UK, Denmark, Germany, places like that.
So what you're doing is helping to get refugees out to those countries, transporting them, giving them assistance?
We've done some of that. We've also taken a lot of supplies towards the front lines, up to places like Kiev, and we got up to Poltava one time, and we've gone down south a little bit. So we're kind of getting going here. Like our organization's pretty young, Mark, and I think we're not even 20 days old yet. So we're just kind of getting going here and getting the lay of the land, as they say, and trying to work with the Ukrainians and other people. We've got people from the UK. We've got people from the States, Canada. It's quite a mix of guys that I'm working with.
Well, let's talk about your organization. It's called H.U.G.S, Helping Ukraine Grassroots Support, and it's helping with the extraction, transportation of refugees to Poland, to the countries you mentioned, supplies to Kiev, Kharkiv, Odessa, and other locations, shelter, so on, and food. And of course, what your organization needs funding to help these people. Tell us about the kind of work that you're doing.
Well, so far today, we've got our 5th and 6th missions going today. Tomorrow we have a 7th mission. And primarily, we've been focused on moving supplies up to the front. We have taken, I personally have done 5 trips to the border with people, with families. And yeah, we're just staying busy here. And again, trying to work with the Ukrainians to help them out as much as possible against Putin, who's an entirely unpopular character globally right now. And they call him Putler here. He's caused a lot of damage and misery in this country. And so we're doing our best to alleviate some of that.
Well, give us an idea, Paul, paint a picture, if you will, of what it's like to say, take refugees to one of the, to Poland, one of the other countries, or supplies to Kiev. Where do you get the cars? Where do you get the supplies? What are people's, moods like? Can you paint a picture for us?
Well, when I first came here, there was this is the first wave of refugees in Lviv, and it was as chaotic as I've ever seen in my life, times 10. There was about 500,000 people coming in through in 2 days that I saw, and it was just completely overwhelming. A lot of people, a lot of misery, a lot of despair, and people, people on the move, which is never fun. Families, almost predominantly 100% women and children, with basically a bag and getting in and off of trains down at the Lviv train station. And since then, it's kind of started to level out a little bit. I had an opportunity to drive some families to the border. And when I drove those families, they're going into the unknown. I mean, Ukraine is their home. A lot of people are, undocumented. They don't have the proper forms or papers, and they were just scrambling, running away from the terror of Putin and the Russian army, and
right.
And it was really sad. It was really sad to see. You never want to see little, children, young children being terrorized, but they have quite a spirit here, and quite a resolve. So they're very strong people. definitely. They don't want anybody feeling sorry for them, but they do want help. They do want people to work with them.
Right. So, Paul, in this case, if you're helping to transport refugees, what happens? You get into a minivan, you load them up with folks, you drive them off to the border. Give us some of the details, if you don't mind.
Well, in my case, I first had a station wagon lent to me by a Ukrainian, and I was just going down to the train station and seeing who wanted to ride. I got to know some people at a kitchen, and they would call me up and say, "Hey, this family needs a ride," and I go down. I did that for a few days. Then we opened up a little spot here, a little place, a little secret place, if you will. And then we had some people come and stay with us, predominantly soldiers and from different countries, like I said, the UK and the States. And they came and started working with us a little bit as we kind of got our act together. And then since then, when we accessed some vans, and we started taking people, we started taking supplies up to Kiev. And there's been some really, really cool people that have helped us out over the last 15, 20 days. So it's been good. We've been making our little bit. It's a drop in the bucket, but a whole bunch of drops in the bucket fill the bucket. So we're doing the best that we can with what we got right now. We're looking at expanding, and we've got some access to some funds now. So we're hoping to help even more, help the Ukrainians even more. If that, we'll see how it goes.
What's if you've been to Kiev, which is under attack, what's it like in the areas where there's active military activities going on?
What's it like in the what areas?
Where there's military activity going on.
I don't know, because I have not seen the military activity. I haven't seen any of that, but I know people who have, and I'd love to put you in contact with those people if you want to talk to them. I've got a friend of mine right here who actually went up to Kiev. If you want to talk to him, you're more than welcome to as well. And but I haven't personally seen that. My closest experience was with the bombing, and I did see how that invoked a great deal of terror and uncertainty into the local population. Got people pretty edgy, so they were already on edge a little bit here. But it's really unfortunate what Putin's doing to these people. They're beautiful people, and they really warrant having countries around the world give them support in any way, in any shape whatsoever.
Right.
They really do need it right now. So
let's talk. Right. Let's talk about that for a moment. We are going to put an email up on the screen, hugsforukraine@gmail.com, H-U-G-S F-O-R Ukraine@gmail.com. And what are you looking for, Paul? I would imagine any financial assistance that Canadians could provide would be welcome.
Well, if Canadians want to help out, money here is quite valuable. We can do a lot of, we can really leverage the funds to help here. What we have been doing is that soup kitchen that I work with. I met a good friend of mine who's become a good friend of mine, a gentleman named Dennis, and he runs a soup kitchen. And when I first showed up, he was just paying out of his own pocket. And so we started to give him some funds there. I was active in the early days of H.U.G.S, just going around and meeting people and sharing and giving them some money from Canada and saying, this is from Canada, and I hope it helps out. And it did. We helped a number of different soup kitchens. We moved a lot of people around, and then we thought about expanding, and so we got the vans, started moving supplies, and then we hooked up with a foundation here, Ukrainian foundation, and they started getting us a little bit of work as far as transportation is concerned. And now they got a whole bunch more work. They've just got buses that arrive from Germany. So we're going to be supplying drivers for that and continuing to do supplies. Like I said, there's 2 missions out today going to Kiev, and we're helping out with all kinds of things. So everything from medical supplies, food, diapers. Today was fire equipment, and advanced firefighting equipment. So, we'll do pretty well anything here. We're trying to be a same day emergency humanitarian aid delivery organization. We got, because of the number of soldiers we have, they're a little more comfortable than the civilian population with moving into sort of active hot zones or getting close to them. So we've been fairly effective in our, again, we're still a drop in the bucket. So, but it's coming every day. We grow a little bit better. We get a little bit better at what we're doing. And all the funds that come from anybody, we sink right into the local economy, and it helps pay for the diesel. That stuff's not free. It helps pay for renting the vans right now. We're going to be purchasing some vans to expand our capacity. So we're trying to stay active.
So Paul, how do they transfer money? Is this like an e-transfer from their bank to this hugsforukraine@gmail.com?
That's one option, is to send funds through the e-transfer system. But I recommend people go through our PayPal system, and we've got something set up there. So so we've got some people back in Calgary. Calgary is incredibly well represented here, I must say. We're punching above our weight for sure. So everybody I deal with, I let know that we're, a lot of Calgarians are contributing a lot of funds to help us do what we're doing here. So we can't do it without them. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. If I didn't have those funds, I really wouldn't be that effective. So.
Okay, and we'll put the PayPal transfer information up on the screen. Now, Paul, what led you to travel, all the way over to Ukraine from Calgary? And maybe you could speak to some of the motives of some of the other folks that you're running into. But what motivated you to go?
Well, Mark, you know my background a bit. I mean, I've been very politically active. I'm an activist. I'm into poverty reduction and poverty eradication. I have a farm back there that grows food for the poor. And I've always kind of looked out for the little guy, a seed my father planted with me when I was quite young. And then I saw Putin picking on the Ukrainians, and Ukrainians, and it just didn't sit well with me. And I just, like so many of the people over here that have come over here from foreign countries, there's just something about it, just like that, and they got a tug. They just got a tug at so many people. It's sort of almost like out of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You just get zapped with this thing, and you just, man, I gotta go. And I was on a radio program, and then they asked me, when are you gonna go? And I'm like, well, I don't have any money. And within 5 minutes, somebody had ponied up and said, hey, I'll fly you over there. So managed to get over here and started with scratch, and just kept working away at it. We've got a little bit of an organization, and it continues to grow. So it's quite fledgling, but its development is ongoing. It's sort of like we're the plane is taxiing. We're building the plane as we taxi. So we're making it happen. So we're trying to stay active here right now.
Can you tell us a story or two about the people that you're working with? Maybe something that's really touched you while you were doing this work.
Well, one of the things we're doing is, we wanted to find a place where we could, sort of have a bit of privacy. So we got a hold of some people, and they took us to this location, and we go up to the door, and it used to be a massage parlor called the Secret Place. So we call it the Secret Place because it was called the Secret Place. That was kind of a humorous anecdote. But as far as people, I think the thing that hit me the most was this little boy. He didn't have any toys, and I was just walking by, and he was there with his mom, and she was distraught. But he was sitting there with a piece of cardboard. Pretending that it was a little truck. And so, I saw him, and so I ran down the street. I saw a little store. I ran in there, and I found a little truck, and I bought it, and I bought the rest of the toys. And I just went around, and I gave him a truck right away. And then I just handed out trucks and little, not dolls, but little stuffies to as many kids as I could see. And, I think I maybe 20 or 30 of them. And it was nothing because I was massively overwhelmed by hundreds of thousands of people. But just seeing the children it was over the top. It was just too much. It was just too much. It was I struggled like so many other people. For a couple of days of what was going on, to just like what's happening here, and I was hard. I was having a difficult time processing it. But then I saw these little people, and I saw the moms, and they keep on trucking. They keep on, the resolve and the spirit is just is contagious. It's absolutely contagious. So, I'm all in. I love this city. I've met so many beautiful people. I love this country. I knew very little about Ukraine before I came here, and they're amazing people. They're absolutely amazing people. And I'm here to do what I can, and so are the other people that I work with. And H.U.G.S is committed 100% to helping these people. We're in for the long haul here. There's going to be a lot of rebuilding that's required as well. And but the war is still not over. They just bombed Lviv the other day. So who knows what this guy's going to do? Here's a guy having a temper tantrum on a global stage, but he's got a lot of arms. He's got a lot. He can deal a lot of death here. So, and he already has. He's leveled cities. His soldiers shoot children. They bomb hospitals. They're just vicious. So,
well, Paul, thank you very much for all the best to you and your colleagues, and of course all the people of Ukraine that you, especially the ones you're helping. We wish you the very best, and we'll be checking in with you from time to time, and look forward to chatting with you, and hoping for the best for the people of Ukraine.
Yeah, Slava Ukraini.